we have our final racer here, been sitting in the garage the whole time. DBro from Ireland, who has been competing in the physical world, has been competing in the virtual. Almost qualified last month, but we actually watched in real time as DBro got pushed outside of the qualifying boundary. DBro, our fastest qualifier now, trying to make his case for why he gets a ticket to go to Las Vegas. 10 seconds on the clock. Let's see if this is DBro's magic month.
Well, it does feel like it's a matter of when, not if, for DBro, that he will move on. We know he's going to have a chance on the real world side of things because he won at a summit about a month ago, maybe a little bit over that at this stage, and has advanced to the regionals on the physical side of the DeepRacer competition. On the virtual side, like you said, Blaine, it looked like he was going to be in a position to move on. We were doing a live interview with him when he got bumped out of the top 3 and ultimately was relegated to having to compete once again with us here 1 month later. Fastest qualifier of those that were eligible here in this group of 16. So we expect him to be strong, but it was not a clean first lap. An okay time, but even with the box contact, even if you take that out, I'm not sure it's quite there on pace with what we saw from Carl. That said, the second lap is off to a really good start.
Past that second box of doom, we are now into the straightaways, trying to get the velocity around box number 3, going past our hairpin turn. Purple on sector 2. This is the velocity we expect if we can come around clean without me jinxing it. Coming in here into the home stretch, this is 23.265. That's the run we've been expecting from DBro. This is why he's been pushing the limit every single month.
And now we're seeing some of the same elements that we saw from Carl's model. Very smooth, very precise with the car placement around the corners. It's not thrown off when the box suddenly shows up there. Personal best sector 1, slowed down a little bit in sector 2, so this is going to be right there flirting with that lap time from a moment ago. Does he improve? 23.265, still the best time here from DBro, but you can see he is cranking up the speed, Blaine. That car visually faster than it was at the start of the run.
Let's point out, DBro right now holds the world record for the 2022 physical track. So if you get a chance to go to any of our AWS in-person summits, there is a unique track they have built this year for competition. DBro right now is sitting on the record he set in Brussels last month. And now for him to hold the top time, this is his racing style. He starts a go for broke style, getting higher velocity. We are getting collisions, so it's not that smooth, error-free run from Carl from NAV, but DBro doesn't care. It's only the fastest individual lap. And we've seen some amazing things, DBro, going there with DeepRacer. I do want to answer a question Best Brow posted in chat as far as using AWS. DeepRacer runs on AWS, but there's an awful lot of customization inside this that every developer does that is unique to them. You are seeing their personalities in their vehicle. You obviously can pick their own skins. Everyone this year is celebrating the Ace Lorry, but you can drive the car the way you want. You can make it look the way you want. And more importantly, it can have your personality, like this one, another purple middle.
Yeah, with a green first sector too. So even if this third sector isn't perfect, it's still going to be better. And yes, he shaves off a couple more tenths of a second. Very nearly our first sub 23 second lap. We know it can be done based on qualifying times, except that was without these boxes placed nefariously around the track. I'm not sure if he's going to have time to finish this lap up. It needs to be about perfect anyway if he's going to improve. But 23.001, the new best lap of the month so far. DBro rounding out round 1 on top, 23 seconds flat. Remarkable.
That is a serious gap between number 1 and number 2. Over 0.7 seconds, almost 3/4 of a second difference between 1 and 2. Between 1 and 3, it's more than a full second. This is a gap as we head into intermission. At this point, all of our racers, probably except DBro, are looking at other models they can play with. This is why I love DeepRacer. We've got a lot of you here that are seeing this for the first time. And for those of you who don't know what DeepRacer is, let me tell you a little bit about it. As you said, it's exciting. DBro does get to do a victory lap. It's always kind of fun when we get to have these. DBro's model will be able to push it all out. There's no concern about what the finish might be. So now we get to see what DBro has left to show us on this final run here at the Ace Super Speedway.
Well, you know, if it was any other developer, Blaine, I would say we're probably going to see something spectacular, perhaps more than what we would have seen ordinarily, because there's nothing to lose. But DBro, he's a go for broke kind of guy anyway. I'm not sure this is going to look that much different than a normal DBro run. I could be wrong. We will see. But it would not surprise me if this has the same kind of panache that we saw in round one.
We'll slap a checkered flag and an Irish flag on this car as it goes around. This is a victory model. We're excited to see this. Let's go ahead and get a countdown here on the screen. 10 seconds before we turn green here. This is DBro, our champion for the April Summit, for the April Virtual Series. Let's see what he does.
Oh, what a run it's been for DBro. Let's go back to last month. It looked like he was going to be one of the top three, got bumped out really late in the running and had to wait one more month. In between then and now, he went out and he won the Brussels Summit, set the new world record on the brand new 2020 physical circuit track. And he's had a couple other competitions since then. I believe he was in Paris shortly thereafter and competed there too. So he has been very busy, as you would expect, and has had his fair share of success as well as his fair share of heartbreak. And I'm sure he was thrilled to win in Brussels and to know that he was going to be through at least to the qualifiers on the physical side. But now all of that becomes moot. He knows he's through, and he knows he'll have one of the coveted top seeds as well as a monthly champion.
That's right. And we're going to start to continue to qualify people as we do in the in-person summits, as we do here on the virtual track. The May competition already underway. Those of you that are watching, we've got some new people here that are part of our audience. If you want to be part of the DeepRacer community, if you want to race, come visit us in person. We've got free training classes where we will teach you everything you need to know in person. You can get your fingers on the cars themselves. As the track boss points out right now, this week, if you can get on a train and go to Berlin or Stockholm, go ahead and show up. We want you to be able to see this race. Washington, D.C. in 2 weeks. We've got a summit there. All around the world, we've got different things. We'll post where you can get a list of all of our summits, or in the virtual world right now. Please, come and sign up. Oh, the track boss does make it clear, register first. Don't just get on a train. Don't listen exactly what Blaine says. Don't show without registration. It is free registration for those summits, but make sure you've got your registration filled out before you arrive. Find a summit near you. DBro right now, 23.995. It's a good run as it stands, even as he's trying out new things here on the track.
It is good. A couple resets here, but we saw that from him in his first run too, but then just had a couple really fast laps, including that one, that 23 flat. That's still the best we've seen on this track in this format this month. Speaking of the summits that you can go and compete at, we haven't talked about Atlanta yet. I know I'm going to be in Atlanta next week, so I hope to see many of you there. We'll have DeepRacer there in person, and we'll be qualifying those that can finish high enough there to move on to the regional championships based on their performance in Atlanta. So hope to see folks out there as well. But for now, it's DBro out on the track. It's not been a clean lap here, so this won't be a new record or anything like that. It looks like time for one last flyer here, Blaine. Can DBro ooh and awe the spectators once again with another fantastic lap? He's off to a good start.
Looks good. Green first sector, little bit of fishtailing around the box of doom, but lots of good velocity. Do we have a good sector here? Survey says yellow. So not the best coming around the backside of the track, coming around the big sweep on the outside. Lots of good velocity coming ahead. Doesn't improve the time, 23.995. There is no more time on the clock. This sets our final thing, one off track to finish it. But DBro will finish now in first place with a time of 23.001.
Awesome stuff. What a great day of competition. Thanks to everybody who joined us for it. Hope you enjoyed the show. And we had our moments of drama, didn't we, with Carl just squeaking in and Polish Thunder's big run to jump to second. Very nearly took the top spot from DBro. ADA had a really good lap going until the final moments, and it wasn't quite meant to be. Tell you what, we know that 3 of these developers won't be with us next month because they'll have already qualified. But you look at the other 13, and then some of the names that didn't make it this month. And then how about all those new pros that just got qualified from last month? I can't wait to see what the rest of the season has in store.
Competition is going to continue to ramp up. We're glad that you've been here, been part of our race. We want to go ahead and celebrate our top 3 racers, our top 10 racers. If we've got that board, we can post it. I hope our tech team is able to get that up here one last time to celebrate these racers. And especially, again, looking at the ones who are just outside the bubble. But these are the final racers. These are the ones who advanced to Las Vegas. DBro, Polish Thunder, Carl from NAB, congratulations. We've seen you there before. We're excited to see you there again.
Yeah, fantastic. Some veterans, great developers. We know that they're capable of representing very strongly when we get to reInvent at the end of the year. Any of those 3, it would not be a surprise to see be the league champion in 2022. But there are those that were not in the top 3 that fall into that category as well. It goes to show how deep the competition is in DeepRacer, and it's only going to get stronger as more and more advance from the open division into the pro ranks.
That's right. Racers like AI DeepRacer and ADA, who just barely finished outside the bubble. Tony J, Huge Hadron, AGM Model 1, Duckworth, Dart Jason, all of these striking distance. Certainly we expect to see them again. These are our top finishers. Big congratulations to them. Can't wait to see what happens on June 13th as we race the qualifiers for everyone who qualifies in the month of May.
Coming up very soon. And again, just to highlight how strong this field is, we have 2 former league runner-ups that were in that 4th through 10th or 4th through 16th area with Fumiaki and Duckworth. And I think there was another developer that was 3rd back in 2020 that didn't make it through in this group too. So some really talented developers, those that have some postseason experience that still are looking to get their tickets punched. You're going to want to join us next month because the drama only ramps up from here.
And just as an interesting side note, because DBro has now qualified to go to reInvent, DBro was part of the 2 people from Brussels who were who qualified to advance to their regional physical finals. DBro no longer is qualified for that because he is already going. So now the 3rd place runner-up from Brussels is now going to be competing at the regional summit finale. We got all sorts of drama that's happening here. It's why I love this race.
That's going to be fun to keep an eye on when we go to these summits, because the talking point has been, all right, you finish top 2, then you move on to the qualifier. But now suddenly 3rd place, maybe even 4th place matters just that little bit more. If somebody ahead of you ends up qualifying on the virtual side, that opens the door, opens you up to another chance to advance. So just an extra element of intrigue as we head to the next stage of the season.
Very exciting stuff. That puts a wrap for us here for the AWS DeepRacer League. By the way, those of you who are watching right now, if you are not following the AWS channel, please follow us. There's lots of great content like the AWS DeepRacer League. But coming up next, for example,